A father figure to many in the local sporting community, especially in the area of boxing and cycling, dies. Charles Fisher has more on the life of the legendary Boston Blackie Miller.
A proud Androsian from humble beginnings, Leonard Boston Blackie Miller, a versatile athlete, coach, and educator, passing away on Father's Day at the age of 83. He was inducted into the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Hall of Fame class of 2003 for both boxing and cycling. His fame, however, came in boxing, where he was the light heavyweight and heavyweight champion of the Bahamas and fought on international soil on numerous occasions. Former amateur boxing president official ALVIN SARGEANT.
Boston was a uniquely gifted athlete who was dedicated and determined to building the sport of boxing in the Bahamas. His work was simply unparalleled. He believed and assisted and motivated and counseled scores of young men and a number of young women in the field of boxing. Boston produced some of the finest boxers in the country. Boxing mourns the passing of a legend in the sport, one whose contribution is well above average, and Boston left a legacy that is difficult to surpass.
One of Miller's former students, Quincy Thriller Minute Pratt.
Boston Blackie was my first coach. He taught me the basics, fundamental of boxing back in the boys' school in 1983. He taught me the basics move, the whole fundamental of boxing. Not only that, he taught you respect, discipline, and you had to be disciplined to be around him because he wasn't afraid to put it on you. So every day I put on a pair of boxing glove, my mind's run on Boston Blackie Miller.
President of the Amateur Boxing Association, Vincent also worked with Boston over the years.
We lost one of the greatest boxing or sporting icon in this country and in this entire region. Made his mark in this country, in cycling and in boxing. Boxing in particular, he was the national coach for many of us, including myself, for many years. He continued to build on a foundation that in many instances he had a hand in laying himself. Boston Blackie helped to pave the way for many, many, many boxers, many, many cyclists, and even in the field of education, a self-educated man.
Former Bahamas Olympic Committee president and former ABA president as well, Wellington Miller, saying words cannot describe what Boston meant to the Bahamas and to him in particular.
My mentor, my friend, a man who never shied away from helping anyone. And today I wish I had the adjective to describe Boston Blackie Miller. I've worked many years alongside and behind Boston Blackie, and he have taught me a lot. He was one of the greatest sporting person in Bahamian history. I appreciate Boston so much because I learned so much from him. I first went as his assistant coach in 1979 to the Pan Am Games in Puerto Rico, and from then we traveled together.
From the entire sporting community and the ZNS Toll Sports family, we would like to send our condolences out to the family of the late Boston Blackie Miller, a man who made a big punch on many. For the Morning Edition, I'm Charles Fisher.